Welcome back to the Law Enforcement Recruiting Show. I'm here with Doug Larsen, the CEO of Safeguard Recruiting. Hopefully you've checked out our other episodes. Go to safeguardrecruiting.com. You'll find all of those there on the blog and our show page. And Doug, we've heard from a lot of people. This is very helpful. No one's really putting this information out there. You've been cutting edge for some time. And let me start off with a success story. So tell us what you're hearing from your clients this week.
Yeah, we're getting a lot of success coming in, a lot of transfer of a candidate into applicants, and they're following a process of kind of outlined for them. And it's really fueled some efficiency in the process of getting people hired and the effectiveness of it. But it's tying all it in together, not only our digital recruiting campaign, but the technology that fuels the back end of it to bring more people on board and keep them engaged with your department.
Yeah, that's going to lead into our topic of the day. We're going to get to our topic about how technology can be used to really streamline the process and help you out. And there's a lot of technologies out there that, quite frankly, is just, it's all hype. But you're going to get into the real deal of technology here in a minute. Before we get to that, our question of the week is one that I know we get a lot. This came in through email. It said, hey, we're down about 40 people and we're doing everything we can. We got recruiters on the road, but we're losing about 80% of the people through the background check, the polygraph, and the interview. And so that's the topic we keep hearing about, and that isn't something they have to accept. So what do you say to an agency, Doug, that is, hey, we think we're getting enough people, but we're losing 80% before we can even get them hired?
Yeah, it's common, right? There's a lot of little pain points that are going to eliminate somebody from the process. It can be the physical test, it could be the background, it can be psychological, and it all adds up when we're desperate for candidates. We don't want to lose any of them. And what we see a lot in little pockets of areas is departments are feeding out of the same pool of people that maybe just want to be in law enforcement, but they're not qualified. And what I'd say to that is we need to expand that outreach. We need to get your department in front of more people, more possibilities to get hired and the right type of person. And we'll do that through a digital campaign that we can go drill down, and we can target people in your area or in your geographical region or whatever you think you can want to recruit from. And we can expand that pool so you got more people to deal with and drive your success rate up to get your roster full.
Yeah, so it's two-pronged, right? If you're washing people out once they come in, you need more people coming in. But there's another side to that. What is the mindset of washing people out? Are the processes almost set up for them to fail? Have you seen this in some of your clients, Doug, before you work with them, that were you able to improve some of that washout rate just by changing the mindset?
Yeah, we've seen this an awful lot. We've heard it from administrators too, that it's really easier to find a reason why somebody's not acceptable with your department instead of helping them through the process and finding ways to make it work for them. I'm not saying you lower your standards. Don't do that. But let's not be so quick to pull the trigger on, hey, somebody didn't respond to me, or we've got a reason where we're just going to knock this person out, because there's an awful lot of that goes on. And we need to change a little bit of that mindset. And from a department point of view is, what are we doing to prepare these folks to be successful going through our process? How are we preparing them for the physical test? How are we preparing them for the written test? How are we preparing them for the whole process? We talked about this before. Getting into law enforcement, it's an unknown for somebody who doesn't have a background in law enforcement, of what the process is, how long it takes. Are you assigning a mentor to this person to guide them through and answer their questions and make them feel a part of your department? You can use these opportunities to ingrain them in the culture of your department too, and make them feel a part of your agency. If you just put more effort into it and the right effort into preparing these candidates, we can maximize the amount of people to make it through instead of maximizing the amount of people that fail.
Yeah, I know one of your clients is actually a highway patrol, and they do something pretty cool on your suggestion. Is the local troops there in that state, they invite all of their potential candidates to come out to a workout once a week with current troopers, right? And that has really, really enhanced their efforts. And so there's a lot you can do. You also offer some of this pre-applicant training. So I know you haven't rolled that out yet, but I know you're working on it behind the scenes, where if you know candidates need help with the physical part or the oral part, you're going to offer some online training. So we'll get into that in the future episodes, but that issue can be handled. You don't have to accept a huge washout rate. You're always going to wash people out. You're trying to find the best of the best. And so if you get more people in and you help on the back end, that's going to certainly do that. So that brings me to this week's topic, which is technology. How can technology help me? Now, listen, there's a ton of companies out there pitching technology, and they do it in a couple of ways to get people's attention. They sell it as this is the one-stop be-all to help you. And you've got a lot of clients, Doug, that have tried that rodeo, right? And they've come back to you and they said, we need help. And we talked about email a few weeks ago. So I would encourage you, if you haven't watched our episode on how email can help you, go back and listen to that. But if you were to recommend one piece of technology that can help recruiting immediately, what would that be? I know you probably offer. What would that be?
Yeah, it would be an applicant tracking system. I think it's very important to have a way to track your applicants through the entire process and efficiently and effectively communicate with them. If you don't have that, then there's delays in the process, communications are missed. One person maybe sends a message that you don't know about in your department. And anyway, a lot is lost in the whole process, which goes back to maybe the candidate moves on or finds a different opportunity because lack of communications, they feel like you're not interested or they don't understand the process, so they move on. Applicant tracking systems, very important. We've heard from a lot of different departments. They do everything from nothing at all to whiteboards to Excel spreadsheets. But if you start getting the volume that we provide you in candidates, it's very hard to keep up with them unless you have an applicant tracking system. And that system is going to help you categorize your candidates all the way steps through the process, but also you can individually communicate with them through email or text, or you can bulk message. So it's going to save you a lot of time. And let me just go through this a little bit more so people understand that you can see the whole communication chain when you click on a candidate. So you know exactly what's been said to them, the back and forth, and somebody else can jump in and pick up for you. Say if you and I were helping a candidate out, Travis, and I was away, you could jump in and see what my communications are and help out and pick right up where I left off with that candidate. And to be efficient and effective, you really need to have an applicant tracking system.
Yeah, we've talked about the importance of communication in previous shows. If you don't communicate quickly, they don't think you care. And that is a huge issue. I know when people come on board with you, Doug, when that's some of the questions you ask, and you oftentimes find out that the communication just isn't there in a timely manner. So this applicant tracking system, I just want to go dive a little deeper into it because you believe in this so much. I know with certain campaigns, you're just giving this to clients. You obviously sell this as a single product, but with a certain level of digital campaign, you know, without this technology, they're not going to maximize the candidates they get. And so a lot of your clients are using this because of the campaigns they have with you. So you kind of get, you know, two benefits with Safeguard. You get all these names, but then you get the technology to collate these names and put them in there. And the beauty of it is, you're right. You go to this screen and you see everybody. So just because they don't apply this month, you get to go back to them and communicate them continuously. You don't lose them in an email. You don't lose them in an Excel spreadsheet. You see all the communication, what they've said, what you've said. It's all tracked right there, is it not?
It is. It's all tracked right there. And that was an excellent point, Travis. You do not ever want to give up on a candidate until they've told you, hey, we're moving on. Because it might be 1 month, 2 months, 6 months. If you keep some engagement with them and you can push them forward. And we see this a lot with a lot of our clients is not everybody, as soon as they show interest in your department's ready to make that step. It might take a few months. And the applicant tracking system is going to help you with that. And we do offer that. We have our own applicant tracking system. And much like the story of Safeguard, as you're aware, how we got into law enforcement, we've added some of these key features to our offering out of necessity because you need the right system and you need a way that all the names that we generate for you will seamlessly dump into a way to track them and communicate with them. And that's what we do with the applicant tracking system. we didn't intend to get into that business when we first started out, but it's kind of like some of this other stuff where the necessity is and the need is so great there that we have it, and we encourage departments to, when they start a digital marketing campaign, to just roll right into that, not wait until they get overwhelmed with candidates.
Yeah, if you're just now joining us, we're talking to Doug Larsen, CEO of Safeguard Recruiting. All their folks are former law enforcement. They've seen this from the other side. They are here and they have really fixed this issue. It's just a matter of making the right decisions and talking to them. And Doug, I know you'll talk to anybody. You don't need them to be a client. You're very open and honest about the things that you do. And one thing I would add about the applicant tracking system, I know you have one client, pretty large client. And so you're sending names into the system, but you also went into their website and you really put their website on a supercharge. So their website was getting a lot of hits, but they didn't know who was going to the website. So your team went in, and now those people are coming into the website and they're getting, I think the last time you told me, they're getting almost one person a day from the website, which the department's not paying for that lead, right? I mean, so they're paying for the digital campaign to get leads in, but then they're getting additional leads every month from the website, and you also funnel that into the applicant tracking system. So the department looks at one screen and they see all the names coming in, whether they're from your campaign or whether they're from the website.
Exactly. We were able to take this particular department and make some adjustments to their website, and it's producing about one applicant a day from there, one candidate a day from there. And we encourage others to make those same changes to their website, because every little avenue we can get to capture somebody and keep their interest in our department is very helpful. But there are a few tricks and a few things we learned over time that will supercharge that a little bit. And if you leave any of the steps out of the process, it really slows you down. It's like having a big hole in the road and you got to stop and traffic doesn't get by it.
Yeah, we're going to talk about websites in a future episode, so be sure to tune into that. But this particular client had a beautiful website, and I think they said that in 2 years, they think they got 2 names from the website. So you can have this beautiful website, but if it's not set up in a way to capture the names, it's not doing you a lot of good. So that's fantastic stuff, Doug. I can't thank you enough for being here. If you're watching or you're listening, thank you for doing that. Reach out to these guys, safeguardrecruiting.com. Just if you have questions, reach out to them. You want to get your question on the show, get us to address it. They're going to help you supercharge your recruiting. This is the answer. We just need to be thinking a little bit outside the box and reach out to these folks, all former law enforcement, that will help you do that. Doug Larsen, thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me.